we are having a Zoom call with non-Art Storefronts members in 45 minutes, okay? Which is 2 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern, to answer any of your questions for non-Art Storefronts members. What you're struggling with, what's your biggest roadblock, what's your biggest hurdle, in marketing, in business, for your art fit business. How could you be selling more art? How can you find your audience given how unique you are? That's what we're talking about. So it's a Zoom call where you get to hop on and, get on the conference, and we will unmute you and be able to chat with you and answer questions. We'll also be running a short demo with pricing, very short, very, very short, to give you the overview of exactly what we do, and you can just kind of check it out, ask any questions you want about that, and so forth. So that is coming up in 45 minutes. So Patrick, how do they get to the link to the Zoom? Is it just by email?
If they're in Instagram, it's link in the bio, because that's the best we can do. If they're on Facebook or YouTube, then in that scenario, they can just go in the description.
Right. And on YouTube, you have to click on something special there, right? To show the description. It's kind of collapsed by default.
Yeah, some people figure it out, some people don't. Or just, like us on Facebook, like us on Instagram. You can get there top of the hour that way too. I mean, all the things.
Yeah, there you go.
All the things to remember. There's so many things.
Yeah, there are. There really are. There really are.
I got to get a photo in here so I don't have a circusy green background.
Yeah. Well, here's something that I thought was just great though about last week, right? So the Father's Day marketing all ended, right? It's all ended. And obviously it had to run because people need time to get prints and, to ship things in order to get it by Father's Day. And so all that stuff, all the playbook and everything, it was just a phenomenal weekend, right? A
lot of art sold.
A lot of art sold, a lot of coaching going on Saturday. I was in there getting dirty with the customers. Same with Sunday. A lot of hand-to-hand combat, Pat. Lots of hand-to-hand combat, right? I mean, people forget. They're not paying attention when you're doing a lot of marketing and you're stirring a lot of things up, right? And you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. It turns into emails. It turns into comments. It turns into direct messages, and you got to pay attention. It turns into unsold carts. Right. Turns into subscribers. Right? Yeah, exactly. And so just executing properly on all of those, it just shows you how important it is. And part of the reason for that is because, this time we're always working with certain members on certain things. We're trying things, we're testing things, right? So I was getting my hands dirty with one of our painters, Bill Stidham, right? And I was on him on all the different stuff in our playbook in the calendar. Did you do this? Did you do this? Did you do this? Just going through the playbook, right? He hadn't done most of them, but I got him to do them all, right? And all the results were there. He came in this morning, you saw the message where he messaged us and he's like, oh my goodness, thank you so much for helping me execute for the last 4 days.
It might take you a step.
I'll just I'll do it. I'll read it to everybody.
Yeah.
Where is that? It's right here. Okay. So he said, I want to thank everyone at Art Storefronts for all the great ideas helping me execute. I saw a major bump in sales compared to my previous promotions. And it's of course, right? That's where the trade craft comes in, right? Now, you and I have talked about this a little bit, right? The way that we are doing things here is we have a strategy that we're having everybody follow, and it is what I would do and what you would do, what our team would do.
If we owned their business.
If we own their business, what the Art Storefronts leadership would be doing if we literally owned your business and we're running it, this week. So tomorrow we have our private members workshop, right? What are we talking about? We've already gone over it as a team. We are going over exactly what we would want, we would do this week if we were running your business strategically. Every single bit of marketing that we would do, that's in the plan, right? That's in the plan. And it's highly sophisticated, and it's my 20 years of experience and your 20 years of experience, right? Building companies as entrepreneurs, and it's the best thing that we could do. It's like and you know what? Everybody always asks, Pat. They're like, "What if I don't have a lot of time? What if I don't have a lot of time? Right? What if I want to spend the most time on marketing?" It's like
we all have the same amount of time, 24 hours in a day. Why
but
are
imagine
some
this.
do it and others are not? What is the question there?
Exactly. But imagine this. You get to just show up on a Tuesday afternoon, and I and you will be presenting and telling exactly what we want you to do this week based on what we would do, right?
Yeah.
And you get the clip notes.
And equally important, what not to do.
And exactly, and what not to do. And you get the cliff notes tomorrow if you just show up, right? Our members on Friday, what did we do? We had a whole Facebook ad session, right? Specifically for the Father's Day playbook and how the ad strategy needed to adjust specifically for that to get great results. And what happened? We got phenomenal results. Great learnings. We made some new advancements and great results.
We should talk about the dog fooding too. And it's in fairness to us, it's something we've done for a great many years. But now, like, we're really getting the structure of it, right? And when we say dog fooding, it's sort of a play on eating your own dog food. It's a play on practicing what you preach, right? So
it's using your own product, right?
Yeah.
So like whatever you're telling people to do, you're actually doing it.
Yeah.
Right? You're doing it right now. It's not some like esoteric blog post.
Correct. So we grab an actual customer with their actual art, and we exercise the actual marketing tactic, and we learn and we iterate and we use our own product, and then we teach everyone else to do it. And we are literally limited. Our success is literally limited by how much we can do that and how effective we can get it and how many different channels and how many different avenues at a time. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. So like
set over the course of the weekend. Okay. And I'll say this for context because it's important. Like Facebook ads and Instagram ads, okay, are no different than types of food in a restaurant, right? So somebody that's like a really world-class chef at Italian food, you tell him to make Mexican food, I'm sure he'd do okay, but it's not going to be as good as if he was just cooking Mexican food all day long. So we have a ton of experience, Nick and I both, with Facebook ads, over $2 million spent of money played in the Facebook casino. And we're great at what we do, but it's not advertising for small artists. And so what do? Small artists and photographers. We start advertising for small artists and photographers. And what happened this weekend? We figured out the single solitary best conversion, okay, that's going to let them sidestep all these landmines of crappy traffic, getting likes and shares, but no sales. Ever heard of that? I got so many likes, I got so many shares, no sales. Okay, then you got nothing, right? So now we have determined a conversion, and we have verifiable data because we looked at the stats, saw how many times people viewed the products, saw how many times they added to the cart, saw how many times they checked out, and now we have it. And now we have it. Why? How did we get it? Eating our own damn dog food.
That's right. Actually doing it. And so here, I have on my screen, right? I'm looking at the Facebook ads account of Bill's account that we ran, right?
Yeah.
To do the ads, and we had a unique strategy, and we got him, a bunch of extra purchases as a result of doing these ads, right? And they costed him $3.98 per purchase. Looking at it right now on my screen, per purchase.
What do we think his AOV is? His AOV is like 100 and something, 200, somewhere around there.
Yeah, probably around $200.
Yeah. So to put that into context, we gave Facebook, and it's a little disingenuous to say that, but let's say that first, and then I'll give the context. We gave Facebook, what was the number?
Of what?
How much it cost per purchase?
Oh, $3.98. Is that what I said?
Yes. So we gave eating our own dog food this weekend, running an ads campaign that coincided with his Father's Day sale. We gave Facebook $3 and change for an AOV of $200. That means on average, the purchase price of each one of those sales that we got from Facebook was $200. So you assume, let's just say 50% margins. He was making $100 per. I think his margins are actually higher than that.
Oh yeah.
That's a pretty good return on investment. Pretty hard to
yeah. Would you pay $4 for another $200 sale? How many of those? Because we got a whole bunch of them, right? We got a whole bunch.
The answer to that question is you would pay every dollar that you have in your bank account, how many dollars you could borrow from everyone you know to continue
exactly.
to get. But it's a little disingenuous to say like it was just the Facebook ads or just the Instagram ads, because he also has a comprehensive marketing solution around him. He's not just running ads on Facebook. He's email marketing. He went live how many times? 3 times this weekend, I think.
Yes.
Talking about the sale, promoting the sale. So it's a little disingenuous to say it was just Facebook and kaboom, right? But that's okay. Anyway, for everyone that are just joining this, if you're not a customer and you've ever wondered what we do, what our software looks like, what it costs, at the top of the hour, whatever your time zone is, we're doing a Zoom call for non-members. There's going to be a live demo. We're going to show off all the bells and whistles of the software. We're going to talk about pricing. And then most importantly, we're going to get into your issues, your business and art, photography, marketing issues. And they're usually a lot of fun too. Last couple have been pretty fire. Yeah. So we'll see how this time slot goes. But anyway, going back to it, like we are literally our level of success, and we judge our level of success by how much money our customers make, because successful customers turns out successful company. Write that one down somewhere. But it will be directly determined by how much of our own dog food we eat, i.e., how many Facebook campaigns, email marketing campaigns, Facebook Live art shows, Instagram Live art shows that we run, that we acquire the tradecraft. And really, it's not just the tradecraft, it's the data, right? It's the data to understand. And you run one and you get some data, and then you run 10, and then you get 10 strings of data, and then you see one vastly outperformed all the others. Well, guess what? Let's go do that again. You confirm that it's working. You then teach everybody, and then we look at the data to macro and be like, okay, home run, we're on it. Where do we go from here, right?
Yep.
You had some fun with the banners? Oh, good.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to promote that's the thing. Let's promote this Zoom session. Let's help some people, Let's help some people. We're talking about this execution, but the thing that I like where I'm left with Bill after the weekend is just like, and I'm being dead serious here, right? Like you and I haven't talked about this, much, but the difference between running things according to the playbook with all of the tradecraft in there that we've put together and not is really big. You
have to give a specific concrete example.
Well, I'm just talking about the fact that Bill was just like, he's on his own. He's in Mexico. He's traveling back and forth between Austin and Mexico. The whole he's always kind of relied on offline to kind of lift his boat for him, even though he sells well online. He just he never put as much effort into the marketing because he would just go to shows, and he was fine doing that. He's one of the people that was fine trekking around to shows, And so when the pandemic hit and the rug got pulled out, he's like, I got to start working online. But he didn't really do it. He'd send an email there, right? Put up a post here or there, send out like a big discount. Nobody's buying. And he kind of panicked, and he's like, I need help. What's going on here? Like, I've got a real business. And he does. He's got a legitimate business, right? He had a gallery in Mexico. He had to close it because of the pandemic, but he otherwise wouldn't have, And so it's like, we looked into what he was doing and said, Bill, you're not doing any of the marketing. We've got a whole calendar and a playbook here. You need to do it, right? Let's get this done and let's do it. And so it was the perfect opportunity when the opportunity came about to be like, all right, cool. We got a whole Father's Day marketing playbook that you got to follow, because if you don't do it, you're going to probably sell nothing. So let's do it and let's see what happens. And so we micromanaged it for him, and we forced him to do certain things and caught him on things that he wasn't doing, made him do them, and did all the execution. And of course, we ran some Facebook ads for him on our own, like to dog food that, right, to test it out. And then he comes back and he's like, oh my goodness, like the results were dramatically better than what I was seeing before. And it just reminded me that even as a member, Bill's been a member for like 3 or 4 years, maybe longer. Maybe he's been for like 4 or 5 years. And it's like, you guys,
not doing consistent marketing.
My goodness, the tradecraft involved in it. Like, if you're not following that playbook all week and all weekend with all the little things that are in there to get extra sales, there's extra sales everywhere inside of it, everywhere. And you're leaving those things on the table, and you just can't do that. You just can't do it. See, when you're at these times when there's art selling holidays or there's other things that we're doing where we call them closing periods, right? This is where you close the sales. There's times when you need to be, all the other times that you're not closing, essentially, you need to be filling the funnel. You need to be building your audience and getting more leads. Lead acquisition, lead acquisition, lead acquisition, as hard as you can, because then you close, right? Then you close.
Yeah.
Imagine that. So you romance and you build an audience and you move them down the funnel and you warm them up and you make them hot, like, you know, the sales funnel, cold, medium, hot, so that when they're ready to buy and you create some urgency or they have a need, they buy, right? So you romance, you know, and you build that connection and then you close, right? And you do that all year long. Romance, 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 close. Romance, 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 close. And it just totally works, right? So when you are closing, that's where I'm getting to here. When you are closing, you need all that trade craft and you got to use that time that you have because you've only got like, what is it? Like about 7 days that you're really pushing the close, you know? So every day matters.
When you're running a sale, yeah, no question about
it. When you're
it.
running the sale, when you're pushing people, everything matters, you know? And it just makes that big of a difference. I mean, when I say big of a difference, I'm not talking about a 20% increase. I'm talking like 3 to 4x, right? Like he gets 3 to 4 times as many sales, 300 to 400% better results than just half-assing it and just throwing one thing together here on Friday, one thing on Sunday, right?
Perfect example of a guy that if the offline revenue sources remain status quo, never would have done this.
Never would have done it.
Never would have done it. But guess what? Galleries closed down. Biggest art shows that he cleans up at every time, shut down. Either just being straight shut down or limited capacity opening, read no one's going to come. And yet they still want to charge you the full booth fee. Like, game's changed, man. Game's changed and it's going to stay changed for a while.
Yeah, exactly. You know, yeah. And like, thank goodness that art is selling as much as it is, you know, and it has during this pandemic. Thank heavens for every artist and photographer that's out there that's happened. But of course, if you haven't been executing on an online strategy, right? If you haven't been marketing online, you got hurt, you got crushed. And you know what? You're going to get hurt for a while. You're going to be hurting for a while. If you are relying on the old ways of things, boy, oh boy, that is not a good strategy. Even with things opening up, even with things opening up, it's not the same. It's not going to be the same.
No, it's like, I picture like your bathtub is your business, right? And there's 2 ways to fill up the bathtub, right? And let's say there's like a spout for the bathtub and then there's the shower. And let's just say that your setup was sophisticated enough that both of them could be on at the same time, right? Most people, they just had the one on, right? And then that one shut off, nothing, done. You know, the pandemic hit, that one's done. But some people at least had the shower and the bathtub going at the same time. Your bathtub fills up so much quicker, but you don't realize how bad you need it until the bath water, the main bath one is just done. And it's like, okay, well, thank God, at least I can figure out how to turn the shower on. But then when you have nothing, ooh, and we've seen it, and it's been terrifying. And it's been terrifying on a bunch of different levels. And then, oh, by the way, things are about to open up. And then we have the largest civil unrest that we've seen in this country for years. And independent of getting into any aspects of the civil, the civil unrest, like everything's boarded up. All the galleries and the shelf boarded up. It's like, how much worse can it get? Right when you're about to come around and get back open up again, it gets boarded up again. So it's just like, all it does is
I think
keep all your eggs in one basket. You're in a bad spot.
Yeah, and exactly. And I think that I totally agree. I think that you got to be really watchful about if your business is built based on third parties. Like, you just can't do that. I've learned this for 20 years as an entrepreneur. I mentioned this to you before, right? Like, I had a distributor in the UK that was buying like $1 million a year of canvas and art paper and whatnot for Breathing Color. And then one day they called us and they're like, we've switched suppliers. And you're like, wait, what? It's just $1 million a year of business gone. And and then after that, we were like, we're changing the strategy. We changed our global strategy as a result of that, where we went, wait a minute. Yeah, we can't do this. We need to build a brand in these markets. We need to build it direct. And you know what? For the next like 18 years, that's what we did. That's what we did. And the rug never got pulled out again, right? And it's because third parties, you guys, is when you're selling through other people. You're relying on them for distribution. In other words, art galleries, whether they're online or offline, right? Publishers, same thing. The difference between the opposite of doing third parties is selling direct, where you market directly to your customers. No one can take that from you. They come to your art gallery website, they buy from you directly, and that's the end of it. There's nothing in between. You know, you make the most money from your work. You collect the customer information. You get to market them forever. That is the way that you build a consistent business long-term. That's the key. You got to be doing that. So in the future, you guys just like analyze yourself, audit yourself. Like, what have you done for the last couple of years as an artist or photographer? What percentage of your sales comes from third parties and what percentage is direct? It should be 70 to 80% is coming from direct. Okay. Yes. I understand that that's not going to be the case for the vast majority of listening to this, right? And that's why the starving artist problem exists. Okay. Yep. So
and it won't happen overnight either. But you gotta.
It will not happen overnight.
Yeah.
Because it's a whole different thing. But you need to get to a point where 70, 80%, and maybe even more, you know, of your business is coming from direct, because that's the part that no one can take away from you. That's the rock. That's the rock foundation of your business. The sand is the third parties, right? Yeah. The rock is the direct. Best way of thinking about it.
Yeah.
Okay. So we should probably we should probably wrap this up. So guys, at the top of the hour here in 24 minutes, Patrick and I are going live on Facebook and YouTube in a Zoom call. You can get on the Zoom call and talk to us about your art business. It's for non-customers, okay? It's for non-customers to get some free consulting from us about whatever your biggest struggle is or anything like that. Doesn't matter. Come on. And at the beginning, we're going to do a very short demo of Art Storefronts to show you how we help you get more traffic and eyeballs, and to help you build your business in the long term. We also go over like the features of the art gallery websites that we provide. So you'll be able to get a quick overview of that, see the pricing, the different packages, ask any questions on that. So it'll be great. That's starting in a little bit more than 20 minutes, but we will see you there.
Yep, come join us. It'll be live everywhere. Live.
Yeah, and we're announcing a big sale today too. We're announcing a big sale. So
is that
the summer sale. The summer sale. Yeah, summer sale is happening. And so there's an incentive to join Art Storefronts at a discounted price and stuff like that, which is great. So we're doing that again. Take advantage of it, and we will see you guys top of the hour.
See you in 20. Bye. Thank you guys.
Bye.